We're just hanging with Emmitt Smith, which is all kinds of awesome. Courtesy of Narcan nasal spray and Ready to Rescue. We'll talk about that with the Super Bowl MVP and Pro Football Hall of Famer and the most prolific runner in the history of the game. It is great to see you. Solo, as always. Good to see you. I mean, Prime is one of my favorite humans I've gotten to meet. And, you know, and everybody always, when they, look at him, they prejudge because of who they think he is. And when he first showed up at NFL Network, I was told by people at CBS, he's one of the best teammates you're ever going to have. I'm like, really? And he was. Yeah. He truly, truly is one of those guys who's a giver and a great teammate.
No doubt, no doubt. And we kid a little bit, but when Prime came to Dallas, there was nothing stood in the way of that happening. He was embraced right away. And he brought some things to the team, whether it was fashion, whether it was being suited and booted twice, whether it was having a ping pong table brought into the locker room so we can have places to go and do things on top of playing dominoes.
But he's one of the most famous guys I've ever walked through an airport with, too. And everybody. It doesn't matter race, color, creed, gender. Everybody just wants to get a piece of Prime.
Right.
And, it's something to behold with him as well, just seeing him now coach.
Right.
And become coach because, I kind of felt silly talking with him about playing because that stuff is he's turned the page on.
It's behind.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Right?
It's kind of like taking him back when he's here in the present.
Right, and he's always been that way, even when I was broadcasting with him, except when the conversation with him and Irv would come up about the '94 NFC Championship game and whether Dion interfered, a little DPI on Irv. Right. I love those conversations because that will never be resolved.
It would never. It's resolved. It just would never be agreed upon. It's resolved because the results were what the results were.
Yes.
And so it's resolved. But however, there's always going to be that debate. And in today's game, it would have been pass interference. But in our game, it wasn't called that way.
It was not.
And so that's unfortunate for us, but fortunate for him because he had a chance to go on and get his first Super Bowl that way.
Right. I love it. Emmitt Smith is here. Marshall Faulk's coming here in hour number 2 right here on the Rich Eisen Show. And Emmitt Smith, the MVP. Where's that MVP trophy? Just in some spot in your house?
It's in a storage box.
Okay. It's not on display anymore?
It's not on display in my house at all.
Why?
I don't have a whole lot of memorabilia on display in my house.
Okay.
I really don't.
Because I guess you could fill up an entire house with it if you did that sort of stuff.
Well, I got the touchdown footballs. I can create plaques all the way around the roof and stuff like that. But I got jerseys. I got helmets. But why? I lived that life. And I've experienced it firsthand and up close and personal. I don't need it to be in my face to remind me of the things that I was able to accomplish and who I was able to accomplish with. That life is great. And I live that life still to this day. But that's what I did, but it's not who I am.
Emmitt Smith here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who's the running back that came up to you from a previous generation, complimented you, that you just sat there and were like, oh my goodness? I could guess who that would be, but I want to hear from you. Who that would be.
There's been a number of different running backs, and I ran into a couple last night. DeAndre Swift was one of those guys, and
well, that's present day. I'm talking about before your time.
Before my time.
Hall of Famers, people who you now are in the bus gallery with, that came up to you that you were like, that's pretty cool, and I'm.
When it comes down to Hall of Famer type guys, I mean, Marshall Faulk. You talked about Marshall Faulk coming in. Yeah. Marshall and I became real good friends because we was in the same offense. And so when he started running, he started studying my tape.
Right.
And so by him studying the tape, he learned a lot about how I pressed the lead draw plays. And he just took it to another level. Then you have a Terrell Davis, who I have great admiration for and respect for. Curtis Martin.
Oh, I've seen him around town.
Yeah,
quite
Curtis
a bit.
Martin and I became real good friends throughout his tenure. Jerome Bettis is another.
What about Jim Brown?
Jim Brown, that's a given, bro.
I know.
That's the godfather of all running backs.
When did you first come in contact with him? Emmitt.
I think it was probably in the mid to late 90s. I know we played together a round of golf a couple times in Tahoe.
Okay.
So walking with the legend and talking with the legend for 4.5, 5 hours of golf was an experience all by itself.
Did you take anything from him? Did he give you a tip and you're like, okay, I'm gonna use that?
Well,
when you're
at
still playing?
that point, the only tip that I got was taking care of my body.
Okay.
Same things that Walter Payton told me. He taught me about not only about how to carry myself, but to respect the game, but also respect myself. And not only that, but then extend that respect to others and help your community as much as possible, because we've been blessed to be in a position to do certain things, but it's also incumbent upon us to extend that knowledge backwards,
Sure.
as well as, continue to pursue our own passions.
Fitting that Walter Payton would give you that piece of advice,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
With the Walter Payton Man of the Year award won by Bobby Wagner last night, which was a neat moment at the NFL honors. Now, you said you don't have the Super Bowl MVP trophy that's out there in your house. The football that you broke Walter Payton's record, is that at least displayed
No.
in your house?
No.
No kidding.
No, it's not. It's not. I tell you what is displayed.
Okay.
My son's Texas A&M helmet that he wore.
That's cool.
That's on display because that's where he put it.
If that's not fatherhood or parenthood wrapped up in one line that just absolutely nails it. He's like, this is for you, Dad?
No, it wasn't for me. This is where he just put it.
Okay.
He came home and just had to put it somewhere, and he just put it.
I got it. All right. So what do you think of Super Bowl 60, Emmitt? You got a prediction for?
Yeah, I do have a prediction, but I think the game itself, I think we're going to see two well-coached teams. I think Mark Vabro has done a great job with restoring the Patriots' culture and their winning ways. I mean, he brought in the right coaches that are very familiar with the culture. So doing that could not have done. It could have done. It did wonders for the whole entire team.
Right.
Because they got guys who have Super Bowl rings that are leading them now. So they understand how to prepare. So they can trust that the information that they're getting is solid. There is no BSing around when it comes down to guys like Vabro and that team. Some coaches talk in riddles that you have to figure out. And they leave options for them to take advantage of whatever mistake that you make so they can remain coachable.
Right.
Some coaches don't sugarcoat nothing. They give you what you need. And they afford you the opportunity to take advantage of it and leverage it the best way that you can. And they don't criticize you for it. They educate you on the decisions that you make.
Right.
And that's a great place to be in. And I think what he's doing with the Patriots is spot on. They're going to be ready to play because they've had 2 weeks to stop the run.
So I'm waiting for either a but or
Then Seattle.
Yeah, that's what I say.
And then there's Seattle.
Okay.
And then Seattle itself.
Because I'm wondering if like you taking the Patriots because you're what you just said.
No, I just started with.
Okay.
I just started with the Patriots.
Okay.
And then Seattle, Seattle has that. They have that that it factor of aggression, speed from sideline to sideline.
Right.
They got some cornerbacks that are tall and long, and they cover a lot of ground. And they are well built, inside out.
Right.
Built tough up front, defensive front. Built tough up front, offensive line. They run the ball very, very effectively and have ran the ball very good throughout the playoff. And so that's the one thing I expect to suffer is the running game, which puts the pressure on the quarterbacks, both of them. Now, Seattle quarterback has to prove himself and not become shaky. If he doesn't become shaky, Seattle should win this game. If he becomes shaky, because Drake May is built in the mold of Tom Brady. Seems to be calm, cool, collected the whole entire time. Never seems to get rattled. And a very effective passer. So I think the game is going to fall in the hands of those two young quarterbacks. I think the running game is going to suffer. But Seattle's going to stick with the running game because they are committed.
Right.
And that part I love.
So you think Seattle will win?
I'm going with Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, I went around a long.
No. I
I gave you my complete analysis of what I see.
Man, you nailed it. You stuck the landing. Narcan nasal spray and ready to rescue. We've talked about it through Super Bowls past, so I give you the floor on it.
And we're still doing that right now. We're still continuing to spread awareness around the epidemic of opioid overdoses and emergencies. I've been working with Emergent and Narcan for the last 3 years. We're starting to see some of the numbers starting to come down in our favor, but just like you do in any sport or any game, when you have a lead, you don't let up. You keep pushing, keep reminding people that there's Narcan nasal spray out there to help prevent an opioid overdose and help save someone's life. They have a new gadget, new device, not necessarily gadget, but this new carrying case. CarryNarcan.com is where you can get this carrying case, the Carry Narcan within it. It holds two Narcan sprays, so you can always have it. You can hook it on your backpack and so forth. But Narcan is there to help all of us be prepared for an opioid overdose emergency at any point in time.
Narcan.com is so crucial. And I just putting two and two together, you're talking about how Vrabel doesn't talk in riddles. Obviously, that's something that Jimmy Johnson probably never talked in a riddle his entire life.
Neither does Nick Saban.
And I just heard, Jimmy say what he said about Belichick not making it. And he was not.
He should have been. And
I mean, that is nuts.
It is absolutely nuts. I mean, I am completely disappointed at the voting committee, and I want to know the reasons why. I want to know why that person or those people voted no, and there's no excuse for what they did because this man has more Super Bowl rings than anybody in the game, as a coach, head coach, as well as a D coordinator, and have made history twice over. The next closest, maybe 5 rings for one organization, maybe. But outside of that, how can he not be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Well, I mean, Jimmy said it in plain English many times. The one thing, and I agree with him and I agree with you 100%. I just, Jimmy's saying he doesn't want to go back to Canton over it or something like that. Now, that is something that's...
it's crossing my mind.
Well, I would just say
it's crossing my mind. I'm like, you are disrespecting the 300 or 400 guys that are in there right now.
Right, but the folks who run the hall are, they need you back, is what
I know they need me back, but man, I need them to do right. We've done right for a long time.
Yes.
I had to do right for a long time in order to get there.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't they have the same methodology? They need to do right, and they need to revamp the whole entire voting process. They need to kick folks out that has nothing to do with the game. They only want to talk about it because they're writers. And they get the chance to be mad at somebody for not sitting down and giving them the answers that they want. And they hold that against people. They look for ways not to get people in, especially certain people. And they hide behind this or they hide behind that, as if they never wrote a bad article about somebody or misled the public on an article that they wrote about somebody. It happens all the time. And you don't see their apologies. You don't see them. They get to go on and carry their life the way that they carry their life. They need to be sitting right here answering the tough questions from people like yourself and others to find out where their head is at.
Well, and I hear you, and all I'm saying is it's not like someone for Roger Craig to look out and see someone like you listening to him for his speech. But I think it means a lot to him, and means a lot to a lot of other people.
It does.
You know what I mean?
I'm not.
That's
it
all
does.
I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like
Roger waited for 30 years.
he did.
Darren Wilson is waiting too. So is Eric Williams, just waiting for his name just to be mentioned. And these are Super Bowl champions too. Roger Craig stats have not changed in 30 years.
They have not.
30 years. But yet he goes in. I got a guy that just retired probably 10 years ago, Darren Wilson. I got a guy that's never been nominated. How can I not have at least 2 of my offensive linemen in the Hall of Fame? I got Larry Allen.
Right.
Eric Williams is still alive. Larry Allen has passed on. But Eric Williams deserved his flowers because he had to block a Reggie White, who's a Hall of Famer. He had to block a Michael Strahan. He had to block others guys, Chris Dolman. He had to block those kind of guys that are Hall of Famers. And so I'm sitting back here saying, this is part of our championship team, which was the team of the decade in the 90s. And we just have, we got some good ones. Troy, Michael, myself, Charles Haley, Prime. We deserve some more.
Emmitt Smith, I appreciate you coming by here. If I don't end this segment, the people from Narcan will spray me. So
I'm gonna spray you.
Emmitt Smith, everybody, Narcan.com. Please go and check out this important product. We're back from San Francisco in a moment.